Hello, my name is Hernandez, and I am a certified Pilates instructor and exercise physiologist. You know, when we think about heart health, which is what I want to talk about today, we often think about the ways we can work on our heart and our cardiorespiratory system on a treadmill or out for a run or in a pool for a swim. But what I'm here to talk about is that Pilates can also give us an opportunity to work on our cardiorespiratory system and our heart health. You know, Joe Pilates was smart. He started his mat work with the hundreds. And when you think about the hundreds, the pumping of the arms, just that part alone, you can think about how that amount of movement in the upper body brings the blood flow to the heart and thus warms up the cardiorespiratory system. He also had other mat exercises like leg circles, warming up the hips and the glutes, some big muscle groups in our body. And the Pilates push-ups, again, warming up the upper body and the lower body as you go down and up. Now, current research tells us that we need to have an adequate warm-up before any bout of exercise. And in fact, it takes 1 to 3 minutes for our body to get from an anaerobic state to an aerobic metabolism state. How can we get to that state safely and effectively? Well, we can do two things. One is have a dynamic warm-up. So dynamic warm-up would increase the blood flow and also bring range of motion to those major muscle groups. The second is a bout of cardiorespiratory work. Now again, you could go on a treadmill, you could jump in a pool, but if you're in a Pilates studio, in a Pilates setting, you may not have those two things, but you do have the jump board. And the jump board gives us a really wonderful opportunity to get that bout of cardiorespiratory training in. So I'm going to bring my student, Melbourne, in with us, and she's going to come down onto the mat. We're going to give you a little sample of what a dynamic warm-up would look like, followed by the cardiorespiratory bout on the jump board. Now, Melbourne has been a student of mine for about 3 years, so she's a wonderful mover, and she is going to just center herself here for a couple breaths. And as she does that, I want to tell you about another advantage here. Melbourne is lying supine, and when you think about Pilates, many of the exercises on the mat, on the reformer, including the jump board, and on the Cadillac are done supine. Because we take out that gravitational pull of the heart here, or on the heart, you have an increased venous return to the heart. So already she's at a cardiorespiratory advantage just lying here. And now we're going to make her work a little harder. Bring your legs to the tabletop, Melbourne, arms hover off the floor, and she's going to go right into her hundreds. And again, Melbourne's familiar with this exercise, so I'm not going to cue her, but I am going to give her just a little bit of an encouragement to go a little deeper, lift the head and shoulders, Melbourne, good, looking towards me a little bit, and reach those legs out, exactly. So now, not only the cardiorespiratory system warming up, but also the musculoskeletal system warming up. She's going to come back down with the head, back down with the feet, lifting her right leg towards the sky. She's going to do a couple leg circles. So another idea of warming up those big muscle groups. And then she'll transition after that to the other side. Very good, Melbourne. Yeah, excellent. And then from here, I'm going to have her go onto her stomach. She's going to do an exercise that isn't classical, but more of a contemporary exercise, what I like to call Sphinx to Seahorse. So she arches her spine on the inhale, and then she's going to flex and round her spine on the exhale, starting to warm up the anterior core and the posterior core. And one more, inhale and exhale and round. Very good. She's going to come to all fours next. She's going to go right into Pilates push-ups, lifting those feet. She's going to bend and press 3 times. So again, typically this is done at the end of a workout in a classical sequence, but I would argue it's an excellent exercise to put at the beginning. Let's come up to standing, Melbourne. Beautifully done. Do you feel a little warm? Yes. So she's going to get that cardiorespiratory bout in now with the jump board. Coming down to supine, again, she decreases that gravitational pull. She has an advantage of venous return to her heart, and she knows jump board, so she's going to go right into that. Exactly. So I hope you learned a little bit about how Pilates is an excellent opportunity to work on our heart health. And I hope to give you more information and more details on that, on some contraindications and special populations, and more details of our heart health and Pilates at the PMA presentation in 2015. Thank you so much.